You're watching coverage you can count on. This is News Channel 15's Nightcast.
Multiple buildings burned to the ground in a massive fire near downtown Fort Wayne, and smoke could be seen from miles away. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. Tonight, we have extensive coverage of today's fire.
It all started just before 2:30 in a set of storage units on Herbert Street. That is just south of downtown Fort Wayne, near the Tecumseh Street Bridge. Tonight, we have team coverage of the fire for you. First, we will take you live to the scene where crews are still putting out hot spots. Then we'll take a closer look at what the fire looked like when emergency responders first got there and how the community in the area helped them stop more buildings from catching fire.
And we dug a little deeper and came up with some impressive numbers showing just how large this fire was and how many resources went into fighting it. And finally, you'll hear from people who live in that area and the panic some of them experienced as the smoke moved in.
A battalion chief on duty was driving in the area when he first spotted the smoke and flames shooting into the air. News Channel 15's Megan Royst joins us live tonight from where it all happened. So Megan, describe for us how things look out there now.
Fire officials say they have everything under control. They're just fighting a few hot spots and plan to be here all night. I want to show you what things look like right now. Crews are starting to rummage through the debris and, like I said, fight those hot spots. They've been battling the blaze for nearly 9 hours now, although it's proving to be relentless. Take a look at this incredible video. This is what Fort Wayne firefighters went up against. Officials say it all started with one building.
Because of the exposures to several other buildings, it spread quickly.
Some were concerned the flames and smoke billowing in the air posed a health risk. Fort Wayne Fire Department spokesperson Stacy Fleming says investigators spoke with the owner of the storage unit complex. Based on what was inside, Fleming says there's nothing your family should be worried about.
We have no reason to believe that there is any hazardous materials in that. It is a storage facility. We have nothing to indicate anything further.
Although the fire was out of control for hours, firefighters had a clear plan of attack.
This isn't something that's new. We have planned for a type of situation like this.
Fleming says as they called for more help, other stations from across the county help fill the void.
Whether that be at the stations covering the territory or just on standby if we do indeed need them.
Now, we just got word that they have just started the investigation looking for a cause of this massive fire, and they expect it to be a lengthy one given all of the damage out here. For now, reporting live near downtown, Megan Royst, News Channel 15.
One thing that made this fire particularly difficult for firefighters, the lack of hydrants in that area. Because of that, crews had to string several hoses together. Fortunately, lots of people in the area were willing to pitch in and help. We shot this video this afternoon near Canal and Liberty Streets. In it, you can see everyday people moving a fire hose over some railroad tracks to help the firefighters. And thanks to their help, crews were able to get water on the flames more quickly.
A fire this massive can be especially difficult to fight, even for a large fire department like the one in Fort Wayne. We did a little digging, and here is what we learned. The Fort Wayne Fire Department has a total of 340 firefighters. 96 of them worked today's fire. That means nearly 30% of the entire department was on the scene. In fact, so many Fort Wayne firefighters were at this particular fire that if another had broken out somewhere else in the city, departments from New Haven or other townships would have been called in to respond.
As lots of people were on the ground helping, even more were watching the events unfold.
News Channel 15's Erin Rogers talked to people who live close to the burning buildings about their concerns, and she joins us now, continuing our coverage. Erin?
Well, Mark and Heather, neighbors I talked to say their neighborhood is a pretty quiet place, but today's events made some of them nervous. For some, it was a nice day to take a boat ride with family. But for others in the neighborhood by the Tecumseh Bridge, this afternoon was definitely out of the ordinary.
Not a typical Monday at all.
Because this was the scene on the other side of the bridge.
They've got us all blocked off 2 blocks down, so I snuck in the back way and pulled in front of my house.
To come home to part of their neighborhood in flames and lots of smoke.
It was such black smoke that it really looked like it would be hazardous material.
And for that reason, many of the neighbors were concerned.
We might be evacuated, but the wind is not blowing in our direction, so it's in our favor at this point.
It scares me because I have 2 children, and if we have to evacuate, it's going to be bad.
I spoke with Diane Starks, who owns the business across the street from the burning storage unit. We watched as the building barely 50 feet away from her came tumbling down.
The direction of the smoke, we kind of been watching it. We thought about closing up here anyway, but they kind of got a restriction on leaving.
She couldn't leave for safety reasons, even 4 hours after the fire started.
Still surprised at how bad it's burning now.
And shortly after I talked to Starks around 5, her power was shut off. She was just one of more than 1,000 customers in the area who lost power. Indiana Michigan Power couldn't restore it until the fire department gave them the go-ahead. And around 9:30 tonight, everyone got their power back. But part of the delay was that 2 power poles also caught on fire. Erin Rogers, News Channel 15.
And this is really just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to our coverage of today's fire. Over on Wayne.com, we have a photo gallery featuring some of the best photos we took and photos that were sent in to us by you, our viewers. You can also look at more video of the fire and see some of those buildings as they collapsed.
Researchers are developing all kinds of new drugs and treatments, but getting those advancements to patients, that is another story entirely. Today, the Parkview Foundation announced it's raised more than $4 million over a couple years. That will allow Parkview Health to start construction soon on the new Miro Family Research and Education Center. That facility will be built on the Parkview Regional Medical Center campus. It'll specialize in research and bringing groundbreaking new medicine to patients. And now construction is scheduled to start October 8th. Well, things were cool last week, but now we are in the midst of a warm-up.
Feeling a whole lot more like summer. Chief Meteorologist Jonathan Condra joins us with that.
I have some good news.
Yeah?
We're going to ease into the heat.
Okay.
Nothing too extreme or crazy right away, but we do have 90s showing up here in the next 7 days. And right now it's fairly comfortable stepping outside. We have 65 degrees in Fort Wayne, 71 up in Kendallville, and 69 degrees over in Van Wert. No rain on Live Doppler 15 Fury. This makes sense because we have a nearly clear sky. I don't know if you saw that waxing nearly full moon out there this evening, but by tomorrow morning, a few clouds may fill in. We'll call it mostly clear during the overnight. A little fog near daybreak is possible with the light winds down to 60 degrees. Then that fog will burn off by late morning, and by the afternoon, we're looking at highs into the mid-80s, 85 for the high, which is above average for this time of year. But I told you we're looking at some 90s. How soon can they get here? That's coming up in the main forecast here in a few moments.
Thank you, Jonathan. That collective groan you heard this morning, well, that came from thousands of local students who had to wake up early and head back to school. Yes, classes resumed for Fort Wayne Community Schools today. FWCS, which has about 32,000 students, is the last Allen County Public School District to head back this year.
And it was a sad first day of school for students and faculty at Snyder High School. A teacher was found dead in his classroom there on Saturday. Bruce Christ was 52 years old. He was an English teacher and former tennis coach at Snyder. The Allen County coroner said Christ died of natural causes and no foul play is suspected. There are reports that he had some heart problems. FWCS Superintendent Dr. Wendy Robinson says it hit especially hard on this first day of school.
We have a man who obviously had dedicated his life to giving to others, and his passing will start the school year off on a sad note for the Snyder family. They're a very close-knit faculty. I think the best way to honor him and what he did was to get off to a great start and just to remember that that's what he dedicated his life to, and so we're going to try to make him proud of us.
Social media is filled with positive memories of the teacher and condolences for his family. On Twitter, one junior at Snyder wrote, "I can honestly say I had some of the best memories in Mr. Christ's class. My prayers go out to his family."
A man is in critical condition after getting hit by a vehicle in a parking lot. It happened at Los Lomas Mexican Grill on Fairfield Avenue in Fort Wayne this morning. A man who lives nearby was walking through the parking lot around 6:30. He was heading over to a gas station nearby to get coffee, and that was when he found the victim. He quickly called 911. Medics took the man to a hospital in critical condition. Police are still working to identify him. Investigators say there were tire tracks on his shirt, but no signs of the vehicle nor the driver who hit him. So now police are working to get surveillance video from the restaurant in order to get a better idea of what happened. It is a scene Tom Nowak won't soon forget.
Gave me the chills because I didn't know. I almost stepped on him, because I'm looking at the ground finally, and whoa. And there's a phone laying over here, one over there, one leg all bent up or something, one shoe over there about 5-10 feet from him.
It's too soon to tell if the man was hit on purpose or by accident. Right now, there is no vehicle or suspect description. Again, if you have any information that could be helpful, please call the police.
An elderly woman has minor injuries after she accidentally drove her car into a house. Investigators say just after 2, a woman was turning off of Lynn Avenue in Fort Wayne and accidentally hit the gas instead of the brake. Her car jumped the curb and drove straight into a home. It hit the structure so hard that it actually knocked part of it off the foundation. Still ahead tonight, it's a protest with some sticking power. Find out what substance these demonstrators used to hang around.
Plus, the San Francisco Fire Department is taking another look at a controversial policy that could be used to save lives. Those stories and much more new for you after the break.
Coverage you can count on continues with Heather Herron and Mark Mellinger.
The San Francisco Fire Department is taking a closer look at footage recorded by a firefighter after last month's plane crash. The department does not allow recording devices at emergency scenes, but officials say they are reconsidering that policy. Teresa Garcia reports from Los Angeles.
A fire battalion chief recorded these images of July's plane crash with a camera he mounted on his helmet. The San Francisco Fire Department says he violated policy.
Recording devices of any kind, any type of recording device, is prohibited.
In 2009, the department banned the unauthorized use of recording devices over fears the images could violate the privacy rights of victims. But now fire officials are rethinking that stance. They say the footage Battalion Chief Mark Johnson recorded on his own provides valuable information. The San Francisco Chronicle published some of the images and reported Johnson's camera was also recording when a fire truck accidentally ran over and killed one of the passengers. 16-year-old Yi Mengyuan was laying on the tarmac, hidden under fire retardant foam. The department says it is reviewing its policy to see if helmet cams could be a tool in the future.
Until this review takes place, the current policy that we have will need to remain in effect.
The department says it does not know how long the review will take. Teresa Garcia, CBS News.
Your credit card swipe at a local business could cause some tax headaches for the business owner. The IRS is cracking down on small businesses that receive an unusually high portion of their sales through credit card transactions. Since the fall of 2012, the government agency has sent some 20,000 small businesses a letter alerting them to possible underreporting. The thinking behind this is that those businesses may not be reporting all of their cash transactions. By law, credit card processors are required to file 1099-K forms. That's a record of all credit card transactions on their systems.
He weighs more than half a ton, and now he is finally getting some help to lose that weight. This Saudi man, who weighs more than 1,300 pounds, has been unable to leave his bedroom for the past 2 years. Well, thanks to some help from the Saudi government, crews recently used a forklift to remove him from his home. Then medics airlifted him to a hospital nearby, and their doctors will monitor him while they help him lose weight.
It's a protest with some staying power. 6 environmental activists superglued themselves to an energy company's headquarters in Great Britain. The activists are upset over frack-style oil drilling and claim the process hurts the environment. Police eventually moved in and were able to remove the protesters.
Jonathan's here, and summer is back.
A little today. Highs in the lower 80s, not bad. 83, not too high of humidity. We expect 82, but here's the deal. 90s, they're showing up on the 7-day planner. How fast will they get here and how long will they last? We'll talk about that and your rain forecast. It's all coming up here in a few minutes.
Coverage you can count on continues with Chief Meteorologist Jonathan Conder's live Doppler 15 Fury forecast.
Well, you probably noticed that heat today was little, not a lot. We got through it, but here's the deal. High temperatures in about a week will be about 10 degrees higher than what we had today. Do the simple math. 83 today, that means lower 90s showing up for next week. Get ready for that. Great, that's what we need. Well, some people like that. Some people like the summer swelter, the high heat and humidity. Well, it's coming. 83 here in the Fort. 86 was a high today down in Indy. 87 down in Evansville. No 90s on the maps yet. It'll take some time for that heat to build in off to our west and move in. And right now it's pretty comfortable. 65 degrees. The dew point has not changed and the temperature kept falling, so therefore the relative humidity came up. And once this relative humidity hits 100%, actually like 95%, we're going to start to see a little fog forming. The conditions are right for that. So a little fog possible tomorrow morning, and we're going to call it Touch Warmer Tuesday. So today, 83. We drop down to 60 degrees tomorrow morning. That's your low. High tomorrow, 85. Just a touch higher than what we had for today. You probably saw that moon tonight. Did you see it? It was almost full. We call it the full sturgeon moon because typically the Native American tribes would harvest the sturgeon about this time of year. But this is our 4th full moon this season or this summer. So technically it's called a full blue moon. It's a blue moon this season. And very rarely does that happen. Usually we use the term blue moon when we have 2 full moons in a month, but it's 2 full moons or 4 full moons this summer. I hope that wasn't confusing. I almost confused myself. Anyways, any rain anytime soon? A little bit, but not a lot. Here's a look at live Doppler 15 Fury. We're all nice and quiet. Makes sense. We have no rain out, no clouds out there, no rain either. And the overall weather pattern here is looking pretty bone dry. You look off to the west where all our weather typically comes from, not much out there. I don't always show the jet stream pattern. I only show it when there's a significant feature in the jet stream. And you're looking at all these lines, and at this point the consultants would be saying to me, Jonathan, explain what this means. Well, this is a jet stream, flows parallel to the white lines. The storm track will be to our north, and then this big massive dome of high pressure in the jet stream, also called the heat dome. You know why I call it the heat dome? Because it's hot, and we're going to be on the edge of it. This is where all that heat is going to be building, and it's going to take a long time for that to go away. So again, this heat wave that we're going to see in about a week is going to last for at least a week. So here's a look at Futurecast tomorrow morning. A little bit of fog. That burns off. Go to mostly sunny to partly cloudy sky. But again, we're going to keep it dry for tomorrow afternoon. Here's a look at your live Doppler 15 Fury forecast for tonight. Mostly clear. Little fog by tomorrow morning. 60 for the low. Fairly calm. And then we get into tomorrow afternoon. 85 looking good. Light south winds, 5-10 miles an hour. A set of 87s for highs. Wednesday, Thursday, low chance of rain on Thursday. Only 20% chance. And then enjoy Friday, which is good for Friday Night Football. But then we warm up. We'll end the weekend with 90, and we'll get into next week, 92. Which, to me, I might think is going to be a little hot, considering we were in the 70s all last week.
It will be hot, but this is the Heather Heron week of August. You like it like this.
I don't mind the warm weather, and we haven't had much of a summer. So.
And a lot of people will be happy about that. So we'll get fall soon enough. Yep. Thanks, Jonathan.
Well, check this out. When kids get tired, they tend to simply crash. Take this girl, for example. After a long flight from Bulgaria, this 6-year-old fell asleep on her father's suitcase. Well, Dad did try to wake her up, but she was so tired, he just ended up dragging her along.
That's pretty good. Aww. No matter how large a boat you own, I guarantee it'll look like a dinghy compared to this. This 593-foot boat is called the Azam, and it is now the world's largest mega yacht. The boat, which is 57 feet longer than the old record holder, belongs to the President of the United Arab Emirates. Experts estimate it cost more than $609 million to build.
And if that boat is out of your price range, check out this beauty. This 1967 Ferrari convertible sold for $27.5 million this past weekend during an auction in California. That is the highest price ever paid for any road car during an auction. The car's former owner says he plans to donate all of the profit from the sale to charity.
Pretty much in the same ballpark as my 2001 Jeep Wrangler with 98,000 miles on it.
Right up there.
You know what? I'd rather have my car because my car is paid off, although it'll fall apart probably very soon. While Colts fans feel like they bought a lemon when they saw them play their first preseason game,
not good.
The reason that they, feel juiced, I guess you could say, would be this past preseason game. We're going to hear from the team after a big win against the Giants, plus who's going to win the SAC this year. News Sentinel Sports Editor Tom Davis stops by to talk high school football next in sports.
Coverage you can count on continues with Glenn Marini's Sports Report.
Here's a throw Norwell grad Chandler Harnish would like to have back. Warming up before yesterday's Colts Giants preseason game, he drills sideline reporter Pam Oliver in the old noggin. She wasn't hurt. She and Chandler did share a hug. Chandler also tweeted today that she should expect flowers in the mail sometime soon, a gentleman and a scholar. Well, that was worth a laugh. Colts owner Jim Irsay wasn't laughing after the Colts preseason opener against the Bills. Irsay ripping the team on Twitter, promising a better performance in Game 2. That's exactly what fans got as Indy beating the Giants in New York 20-12. Andrew Luck and the starters, well, they got more reps. The Colts QB was 9 of 13 for 107 yards and 2 touchdowns. One of those this ridiculous catch in the end zone by Reggie Wayne.
I actually thought he intercepted the ball, and I seen the object fly across my face and stuck my hand out and slowed it down, and then the rest was just finish the catch. It wasn't easy, you know, but just part of the game.
I was talking to Hasselbeck, and he says, no, you don't deserve an interception. For all the times you'll get burned in the rest of your career, you know, you always take the ones that bounce your way. But, you know, it's Reggie Wayne. Good things seem to happen when you throw the ball up in his general zip code, area code.
I believe that is 3-1-7. Colts play their third preseason game Saturday against the Browns. It all leads up to this regular season opener, Colts Raiders. You can see it right here on Wayne TV, September 8th at 1 o'clock. It is one of 10 Colts games we plan on airing right here on Wayne TV throughout the regular season. Meanwhile, the high school football season officially kicks off on Friday, which means Inside the Zone returns to the interwebs. Every Monday, we're going to bring in our good buddy at the News Sentinel, sports editor Tom Davis, to talk some prep football. The whole show gets posted to our website, wayne.com, and one of the big questions leading up to this season, who's going to win the SAC? Snyder did it last year, but the Panthers graduated 37 seniors. Lewis won the 2A state title, but also was hit hard by graduation. Tom expects a Dwenger team that went 6-7 last season to rise back to the top.
If they can stay healthy, if Mike Fiacable can stay healthy, Bishop Dwenger, I think, will win the SAC. They're my pick to win the SAC this year. They have a developing offensive line, needs to get better, a little bit more mature, but Chris Schwarzkopf has tweaked his offense to take advantage of the weapons that he has, and he has huge pass catchers. They've got running back by committee. They've got a solid defense returning. Bishop Dwenger is going to be tough to deal with.
All right, it is posted on our Wayne.com sports page, the whole entire show. Now, the Associated Press preseason football poll came out today. Carroll and Homestead ranked 11th and 13th in 6A. In 5A, Snyder is 2nd, Northside is 7th, while in 4A, Dwenger starts 8th, East Noble right behind, Leo and New Haven. They also receive votes in 3A football. New class, pretty much the same expectations for Lures. The Knights ranked 2nd. Heritage, Tippy Valley, Lakeland, and Garrett received votes in that one. In 2A, Busco comes in 10th. Bluffton got some votes, while in 1A, no teams in the top 10, but Adams Central, South Adams, and Southern Wells each got consideration. The entire poll, like the Inside the Zone show, is posted on the sports page of Wayne.com. Finally, on the Diamond Caps with Game 3 of their 4-game series at Great Lakes. Top of the 4th, Diego Grace. Solo shot that would be a home run, his 5th of the year. He goes 3 for 5 with 3 runs batted in, but not much else went right. Caps commit a season high 7 errors. 7 errors, almost 1 an inning. They tie the franchise record for most errors in a game as they lose by a final of 12-5. And that coming, just last week they had a 6-error game. So Jose Valentin, he was known for his bat as a player. Perhaps he's going to have to get this team fielding a little bit better as the playoffs are getting ever so close.
All right, thank you, Glenn.
And Jonathan has a final check of your forecast right after this.
Well, warmer weather, it's just about here. Mid to upper 80s this week, and then lower 90s for the end of the weekend and next week.
Okay, thank you, Jonathan.
And thank you for joining us. Have a good night.